Oh, I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and that's my real name, and I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers because I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. And she and her twin Carl had been murdered by the mother. They were born out of wedlock, and this was a pigsty. It was hell on wheels. I was so mistreated in every way. I managed to get through though, and I've put as much as I could over the years up here. There's a little I left out. uh, anyway, I did want to make this. I'm up early this morning. I usually get up about this time though and have coffee and a bite to eat. Which has been a little peace of mind for a while anyway. Being able to go down and sit kind of by myself. Or there's some nice people that come in now. But anyway, I didn't want to get on that. Um, I wanted to say this for those who have, well, maybe tuning in to me, my channel or videos, are those that have been with me for a while, and I do appreciate it. However, I'm not directing this just at this one whose name, a name of a bird, and I doubt if it's a he or she or who, but there are a few on there that have nothing better to do than take aim at me for some reason. And God knows I have done nothing but tell the truth in it. In fact, you can't tell the horror. The horror is that it's been allowed to happen is still ongoing. As I sit here today, uh, I want to mention this because right at the moment when you get into just this part of it, of controlling someone's whereabouts and then calling them and using the mental health to scare the hell out of them or make them wish they were dead, like Anastasia, by the way, who's a cousin of mine, right up here in Charlottesville. Okay, you live in fear. So I went to the media because this media, social news or networks, and because I can't get an attorney, they're afraid of it. And I've been told, even with proof, people talk about proof. A lady that her husband worked for NBC and he died. He was over Chicago area and out around it. So his job was pretty big, and he had trophies there. I'm living at a HUD over it's St. Joseph. I mean Joseph Stream in Bedford, next door, Virginia. She's a nice lady, black lady, and her mother works for the owner, who is out of Washington, North Carolina, Moore, Reverend Moore, I believe. Now, I thought he and the mother and she were nice, and I still believe that. However, when I moved in there, July the 1st, the 4th of July is coming up right there. I moved in, and right away it's across from the memorial. Bedford Memorial, Veterans Memorial. They've got the Union Jack, the British flag, flying alongside the United States flag. And later, because of mold, mildew, and these were new, they moved me up to the front, and I'm sitting at my kitchen looking out the door at the memorial. Knowing what I know about what was done to my father, Edward VIII, and my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin. By the way, that's an American, Irish American family that nobody ever mentions. Anything but lies having my father marry Wallace Simpson. So she married a double. There were several running around lookalikes, and the Illuminati are so powerful. They control your media today, or why have you not heard about me? my kidnapping, what happened to my father, rather than leaving him in history as an evil person rather than the person that tried to save everyone. Do you know what happened when they took him down and kidnapped me? They ran amok across the United Kingdom, and they were already in cahoots with Winston Churchill, who they make out to be a hero, and George VI, my uncle, who helped kidnap his own niece, heir to the crown, and yes, papers were drawn up legal by my father. Took it from his father. You talk about Cain and Abel. Anyway, I'm going to lose track of where I'm at this morning because I'm in pretty bad shape. And oddly, I just got back from the doctor's office. Wow, 6 months checkup that when I got back, it read for hemorrhoids. Oh, me. I mean, what do you do with it? And then I had to chase down my medicine, and I'll play hell for this, you know. I had to, my medicine that's for inflammation. Now I'm getting sidetracked, aren't I? Somebody will make something about that. I'm in pain because I am allergic to chemicals, toxic chemicals. The fumes make me sick, so I have to get away from them where I'm not breathing them. I have to breathe like someone with COPD. I'm going to remember her, Pam, out at camping. Her husband was out there and she was out there. And she gets around open fire there where they're putting fuel or just burn charcoal or stuff. She starts this coughing, can't breathe. So she has to get away from it, or you would have to pick up the pit or whatever and take it away from her. That's the same thing with me and toxic fumes, especially when it's deliberately put there to run me from motel to motel, hood to hood to, well, I can't get a hood anymore. Nobody will tell the truth about it. They can be put before a court on charge of perjury if they lie, but then who's going to do that? Nobody, so far as I know. So I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. And right now I'm in so much pain. I started telling about what? About it. I got as far as Joseph Stream over there telling that. This is what happened at that hood, though. And then later, I walked out, the windows up, and by the way, this lady that her daughter works for the owner of, out of North Carolina, of the Joseph Streams. He has a lot of them, and they're federally helped with the feds. The financing and all that, I assume, since it's a federal low income. But, this is the mother living there. Probably because she lived by me, there was a reason, and you can kind of guess it because she left later. But as far as I know, she was a nice lady. And forgot where I'm going with this now. Anyway, I moved up. Well, she was telling the same thing about maintenance men and security, and they were calling her nuts. Well, I have a feeling she knew all about me, and she was supportive in telling, and it was true, what she was saying. So anyway, they moved me because of this brand new mold and mildew. Brand new units. It's coming up in the air conditioning unit up through and coming back out. And I guess the fact that they could kidnap me and take down my dad and invade the UK and form the United Nations, which is your Illuminati, your end times, so the Bible says, chipping people and all that, and make me look out the window at the Union Jack flying by the American flag. And people just ignoring me. They hate me for saying anything about it. To hell with me. I can go back to Great Britain. They didn't kidnap me. Their hands are clean. The hell their hands are clean. Yes, they did. They're part of this government and what should have happened a long time ago. Everybody knows I've told the truth about here. That if you don't care about me, the mind control murders that have affected your own people here and children, you could have gone to Congress. You could have protested all these nice women's rights. They never did this for me. My husband went with me. to the media back in 78 when Larry Flint was shot in 76. It wouldn't touch any of it. They were afraid of it. We went everywhere. The only person that offered to help was Playboy magazine, Hugh Hefner, and they were turning it. I can't remember he was on the editorial sheet as you opened the magazine. But I actually talked to him, and that he was going to turn it over to his attorney, and then they had a plane crash with the staff on it. He was a member of the staff, high up on the cover if you opened it. Arthur Kretschmer. Thank you. So, few people tried to do something about all this. You think that mind control and MK Ultra and the fact that anybody can do it now, corporations are using it. You can cure an illness or create it. You can program groups to go out and kill with knives, or shoot like at Virginia Tech, Parkland in Florida, all over the place. That's how they're done. Mass mind control. So they can do it to armies or, etc. I don't know how widespread it is now. They are chipping nations, I understand. So you should have all gone to your congressman and gone up there and, like the kids from Parkland, only they were going the wrong way. They were trying to get the weapons taken away, and the weapon is mind control. Now, I'm sure there's something else I had to say here, and I don't want to go off without saying it. But you should have done that. And let me say this, and they may come knocking at my door, the plumbers knocking at my door right now, in the shape I'm in. Jack Hartsfield, the FBI reporter, he's undercover as a reporter, said that one day. He's out in California, and he knew Mr. Flint. He said, I have to go now. The plumbers are at the door. Well, the plumbers go back to the Watergate. Send out the plumbers to shut your mouth and kill you. So anyway, when you've got this, let me just phrase this. I don't need them all after me because they all know this. And you should know that they know it. So why does no one speak out on my behalf or behalf of these other mothers who've had their children, the Parkland, the Virginia Tech next door? You've got the poor kid that was the shootings in Sandy Hook, and then one of the parents of that person that was killed committed suicide. So you got suicide being used in the Parkland, etc. Suicide is like Robin Williams and like the shooters at Virginia Tech. They are programmed to shoot the people and turn the gun on themselves. It's the same thing. They're part of the programming. They had the gun, yes, but they were just as much a part of the 33 that died, 32, and then he shot himself. It's the same thing. He shot them. He was programmed to shoot himself. Same. So where am I? Your congressman, and God knows, right now I'm sitting on, I always have been, but pain and really afraid. I'm going to say this. When your governors from Virginia, ex-governors, who are now senators and House of Representatives, U.S. Capitol up there, they know all about mind control murders. They know about my kidnapping and all of it. They sit on the Judiciary Committee, and they're the ones that hand out all this and want to know about FBI investigations and all this, the Judicial and Intelligence Committee. So there's several of them, and I'm going to mention this, and by God, they'll be knocking at my door, and I wish I was dead, I guess, by the time they get through with me. Tim Kaine is an ex-governor here. He ran as vice president on the ticket with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, you should know all about Hillary and Bill. Why I was put on jobs and knew all this, God knows. I mean, it's been hell. But you haven't heard anything about those except their high ranking of the Illuminati that kidnapped me and your global government. I wonder if all your Congress at this point is not a member. Why have none of these people told you about mind control, about my kidnapping? You're such good friends of the Brits. Why don't they tell about my father and running amok in the UK and taking everything British, making us fight against ourselves in Honduras, El Salvador? This is why these people are coming up here now trying to get across the border, because the United States went and uprooted them. And that goes for, I'm going to be real popular, I already am, for telling the friggin' truth. The uprising, what happened, where all the wars the United States went in and what? They were saving you from who? Now then they all ran over the UK, Europe. You've got immigrants there that will a little bit later on be in control of all of Europe. Now you got all these coming up that the United States used my country to fight against our own interests that are trying to get in here. But you can't let me have a peaceful day. You can't go before Congress and demand they tell the truth about this. Why aren't they? You can't picket the media. Right here, Channel 10, Channel 7, and Channel in Lynchburg, ABC, they all know. Out of New York, I've been there. The only one that listened to me was a German, Reuters. And, by the way, they've gotten a friggin' bad rap themselves, the Germans. So the truth of the matter is sitting right up there, the United Nations, it's your Illuminati, and Hillary Clinton was getting campaign from the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, their high-ranking members, and the glorious Elizabeth, who's a fake and a fraud, illegal, war criminal. She's one of the highest ranking members. She represents the Illuminati like most of the others. And they have chipped people, and I don't know, and this is not just me saying this, but I bet you anything with what's happening to me, because when you go to one doctor and he tells you one thing, and he told the truth and did lab work, and he tells me to follow up with my, I'm not even going to say, she'll come knocking at my door, send someone. Nobody likes the truth. Because I went for follow-up, but I went for something else of 6 months. I better start running that checkup. And instead, there was no misunderstanding. I walk out, and she tells me that the doctor lied, that I didn't have a bacterial, because then if you got bacterial, and I do, and I bet this is off, I'm not going, I got an ear infection I can hardly hear. I've had for over a year. She did give me... when I went in with my ear bleeding, she gave me a antibiotic. She doesn't like antibiotics, and I don't want one unless I need it. I never have. I have never taken something that was not prescribed for me by a doctor. Now, I guess I better quit while I'm ahead, because she was supposed to follow up. I couldn't take it because I'm allergic to chemicals. Have an autoimmune disorder, and it causes mass inflammation. I have had to fight to get a prescription for Nambutone. It's a generic for Relafin, for inflammation caused by me inhaling toxic fumes. It's already gotten to my heart. I don't know about my lungs, and I bet you it's my kidneys, because that's where this doctor at Urgent Care, who I think told the total truth, I know he did. He did, when I went in there, he did he asked, did I want him to do a urine analysis, and I said, please, lab work. So before I left, he told me, and I really do need it. The only thing, when at Walmart, I stayed there while